Cryptonauts of the world unite! Cryptonauts of the world unite! Just kidding. Hey everybody, welcome to CCN. I'm your host, Paul Medor. Today is Friday, August 7th, 2015. You may have missed me the past week. You may have noticed we've been incredibly busy between our two projects, hack.com and ccn.la, and to top it off, one of my coworkers is on vacation, so, I fill in. And that's how it goes. Today, I'm only hosting myself. It's just an echo chamber in here. I did have an interview lined up last week, and I did have one lined up this week. And in both cases, it's just a thing about scheduling that happens. Before I go on, I want to shout out to our two most active commenters on CCN articles. SJS, he looks like Don Draper, and the other fellow, his name is Orchideric. You guys are really awesome. I hope you understand that some days your comments really keep our writers going, even if they're just letting the writer know you were there. We see the traffic, but for all we know, it could just be web crawlers or whatever. I mean, we're aware that there's people reading and interacting with our content, but it's only when guys, make the step like SJS and Orchideric do. I don't know these guys on a personal level. They've been intimate with CCN a lot longer than I have. So I just really want to give you guys a big thanks, because I know you're listening as well. And I figure after all these episodes of kind of prattling on with people who maybe never even stop into CCN, I thought I should take a minute to thank, our readership. You guys, just by coming here and in consuming our content, you validate our existence. Whether we go out of business, whatever. Just by being the reader to answer the writer, that's incredibly important in all things. And I do want to apologize to anyone who's felt like CCN has overlooked you or anything like that. And that's kind of brings me to the real point. I want to talk about how things go here at CCN, and I'm making these statements for a very specific reason. One of our competitor outlets, if you can call them that, they make probably 20% of our traffic in real terms, especially organic, unique traffic. But regardless, one of our competitors, they had an unsatisfied employee, and basically he's come up with this long-winded, just really far-fetched conspiracy theory as to the origins of if it even is remotely true. That's really all there is to it. If it's not working for you, you just don't work there. A lot of the issues that were being described had little to do with the actual competitor I referred to. So I want to avoid something like that happening with us in the future. So let me just be straight with you. CCN publishes press releases. There it is. That's the totally not open secret. There's nothing secretive about that particular part of our process. We formerly called them sponsored stories. A sponsored story, what does that say to you? This is not journalism. It's similar to when you're flipping through a magazine and you come across a page that looks almost like an article, and sometimes if the advertiser pays enough, it even flows with the article. But that does not mean that content is suddenly journalism. Now, in any case, when a writer is somehow working for a company and we're not aware of this, and they somehow advertise, as has been said about some of our writers before, and we've verified any claims and we've made any responsible decisions. If you're out there, you hear me. Those were responsible decisions that the boss made, and those are responsible decisions we will continue to make anytime our integrity is in jeopardy. So look, one of our writers, as part of this $200 package, may write a press release for you, but actually we used to charge a lot more for that. I just want to be clear. The press releases that we display on this website are clearly marked as press releases for that reason. Other content, which is not clearly marked as so, is the express view of the author, meaning that the viewpoint does not necessarily represent ours, and a countering viewpoint may come about the following day. I remember feeling like, oh shoot, I'm out of work. That's the end of it. This guy's not going to put me over his advertisers. And at this point, I haven't been writing at CCN. That is not what happened, folks. If you're listening to this, I want you to know that when Josh Garza's and Jonas's emails were dumped, it was illuminating to me. It showed me a lot more about the guy I worked for than I previously knew, a lot more about his integrity and his character. He was not lying to me. I could confirm that by matching up my emails with the ones that are in this. Which was published by a competitor. Now let me be clear, that's called dirty journalism. Unless there's a story there, we're not in business to tear down the business of others. There seems to be a fundamental belief in this cryptocurrency community that there is only so much. I mean, if you're concerned about dominating this entire market, as small as it currently is, I don't understand how you intend to dominate the entire market when it's 10x and 20x, and when over 1 billion people are daily using Bitcoin, whatever way, shape, or form. I mean, to tear down others at this early stage in the game just to get ahead or just to stay ahead, quote unquote, I'm sorry, but you should probably pick another line of work, because this particular niche, quote unquote, cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, it is an infant. I mean, every single coin in existence could perish and it will still exist. We don't know what comes next. But one thing we know here at CCN is that we will continue in our mission to provide the best content we can with the resources available to us. Those of you that come back here every day helping us, we would like more input from you. We've been considering some sort of selling shares out in the public, but all of that stuff, it comes with so much baggage, and so many times that people in this space have burned others that we kind of just try to stay away from that stuff. Anytime I see someone complaining about ads on websites, especially the advertorials, which you have, the last thing I want to say about advertorials is that they actually do sell products, and they have as long as magazines have been publishing. There's some people who go for the shiny and all that, but there's also people who want to know more and more about the product, and that's really what advertorials should be focusing on, is delivering information about the product. There's a belief in sales that most customers, it's a really interesting subject actually. Napoleon Hill wrote a book about it. They're paying us to publish the sponsored stories, but now we just publish them as press releases. They're paying us to do that because they actually do sell their products. But we want to be very clear that our advertising policy states fraudulent advertising will be the contract is over. The second we can verify it's a scam, the contract's over. And previously we do have a vetting process. So integrity is important to us.